Welcome, Solex Nation. We're happy to be here with you today and hope you're having a wonderful week. We are excited about the trainings tonight. First, we'll hear from Loran, who will discuss all things SEFI. This is the first of many video segments we will be releasing, with Loran explaining each aspect of the AOScan technology in depth. We know these explanations by Loran are invaluable to both you and those you work with. We will post them as individual videos as they are released on our YouTube channel, Solex LLC. Speaking of our YouTube channel, there are over 40 videos posted there now, which we realize can feel intimidating to navigate. Just a quick tip to help you find what you're looking for quickly. When you go to our channel, click on the Playlist tab. There you will find each of our videos in categories such as Solex Tutorial Series, Software Updates, Phone Tech Help, and more. We add videos weekly, so be sure to subscribe to our channel and click the notifications bell so you never miss an update. While on our channel, be sure to check out the new opportunity video we just uploaded. This could be a helpful resource for you when trying to explain the amazing AOScan technology to others. As a reminder, in order to fully participate in the compensation plan and be paid on all bonuses, you need to have 100 personal points for the month of March. One way to do this is to be sure your subscription has gone through and is active. These points need to be in by March 31st at 11:59 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. After that point, there will be no way to backdate your account. Don't forget that our premium subscription for the basic pricing special is active until March 31st. Anyone who has participated in this special will receive the basic pricing for 12 months. So spread the word, we only have about a week left. Let's talk about our top enrollers for the week of March 15th through the 21st. Our second highest enroller is Denise Willinger. Congratulations, Denise. We had a tie for top enroller this week. Congratulations to Charles Terry and Wendy Skinner. We'll be sending a Solex silver coin to you, which automatically puts you in the 2021 Solex Legacy Group. Great job to you both. That wraps up the announcements for this week. Now let's turn the time over to Loran Swensen.
Hello. Today we're going to talk about everything to do with SEFI. SEFI, what does SEFI stand for? SEFI. SEFI stands for Subtle Energy Frequency Imprinter. In your SEFI program, you have, or SEFI module of the AOScan program, you have multiple options that you can choose from. So let's start at the very top. So really, what is subtle energy? Those subtle energies are those little energies that we feel but are often not paying attention to. And so Dr. Einstein and Nikola Tesla both knew and understood subtle energies really well and talked about them. So the subtle energies that are encompassed in the SEFI programs are kind of like your homeoenergetics, your homeopathics, your Bach flowers, your Australian flowers, all of those products and functions work with subtle energies. So let's start. Okay, so subtle energies, you can broadcast them, you can send them, kind of like a radio station, or you can imprint them into things like sugar pills or different tinctures. On your flower remedies, they are generally in a solution of brandy and pure water. And in your homeopathics, in the tinctures, those are generally a 10% vodka and 90% pure water. You can use glycerin, you can use just straight water, but alcohol, small amounts, stabilize the water and seem to hold those subtle energies and those frequencies better and for longer periods of time. So we're going to talk a little bit about those, but know that you can change them. The other thing is about subtle energies is they can be imprinted into like a ring or a precious stone, into a credit card, anything that's made with silica. Silica, sand, quartz, plastic is made out of silica. All of these things hold frequencies, subtle energies well. So when I'm talking about imprinting, you can imprint into any of those things, the sugar pills, the tinctures, the rings, the stones, etc. Broadcasting you literally just send it to the target. So when you're looking at your screen on your mobile device, up at the very top is the profile. And then just below that is a secondary profile, like if you're going to use pets or other individuals than the target at the top. So let's just, for today, we're just going to assume that we're going to use it for you. So you want to make sure that it doesn't say guest profile. It needs to say your profile up at the top. So whatever you're going to imprint, you want to start off by clearing it, getting rid of the energies that have accumulated to it by just being around other people or around electronics. You want to erase those. And so at the very top of your screen, there's a little button that says erase. Take whatever it is you're going to imprint, put it on the fractal screen, and hit erase. And that takes about 20 seconds. Erase those energies. Now, some of the questions that have come up, well, if I erase it, am I going to get rid of all the good energies that are in it, or the natural energies that are in it? And the answer is no. We just want to get rid of the energies that have been accumulated on it over time. So you erase it, we're clean. Now you have the option to imprint. So let's say you want to take a flower or a supplement, and you want to copy those energies, those subtle energies, into something that you just erased. So that's the imprint button. You'd click on the imprint, open that up. Now there's two screens on your monitor. The top one is going to be what you're going to imprint into. Okay, so whether it's a tincture or a sugar pill or a ring, that's going to go on the top screen. The bottom screen is what you're going to put on the supplement that you, or the flower, or whatever you want to copy into. And then you hit imprint. And again, that takes about 20 seconds for those types of imprints. So that's how the erase and the imprint functions work. Now, the other modules that you have on your screen are different programs with different purposes. But one thing I want you to understand is with all SEFI programs, they are not meant to be listened to using headphones of any kind. They are meant to either broadcast or imprint. Now, if you're broadcasting, you can turn your volume down so you don't have to listen to those sounds. If you're imprinting, they need to be audible. They don't need to be all the way high, but they do need to be audible for an imprint. Or at least it's better if you do. Okay, so you have, at the very top, you have the quantum affirmations. And that program is a wonderful program. Just say you're needing to become more focused, set some more goals. You want to improve the way you think and the way you act. Those are great affirmations, and there's about 29 or 30 of those. And some of them are single, and some of them are multiples, maybe up to 3 different affirmations all put together. Those you can imprint, and that's a good one to do. Put it into a ring. Or if you have a little tincture with a spray, that's another great way to do it. I have people to imprint Tic Tacs or gummy bears, things that they can carry around with them, and just pop one in. One of the questions that comes up, well, how often should I use those? Or how often should I take a spray or take a Tic Tac or a gummy bear or whatever it is? And the answer is simple: whenever you think about it. Your body's talking to you. Pay attention. Listen to it. When you listen, and you'll feel it, if you're all of a sudden driving down the street and all of a sudden, oh, I should take a Tic Tac. Or what about my affirmation? That's when you take it. There is no hard and fast 3 times a day. It might be 10 times one day. It might be once one day. Just whenever you think about it is the appropriate time. Okay, so the affirmations are wonderful, self-explanatory. Select the one that makes sense. Let's say that you've got somebody away at college and they're getting ready for exams, and with that comes apprehensions and nervousness. Am I going to remember everything? And you can select concentration, focus, and memory recall, and broadcast that to that individual that's getting ready for those exams. My wife and I have had personal experience with that one with our son, and have seen amazing things happen. quantum affirmations are an amazing tool that can be used anytime. All right, and then the next one is quantum frequencies. Quantum frequencies, these are based on the old Rife frequencies, and they have about, I want to say, around 600 different elements that have been found to be effective on different ones of sets of those Rife frequencies. Simple, find the element, click on it, and here you can imprint it into something, or you can broadcast it. Simple, again, real self-explanatory. Another one that you've got is quantum flowers. Now, quantum flowers, it's believed that flowers, like everything, have frequencies, but that these frequencies from flowers specifically affect us with our emotions. And certain flowers, their frequencies will affect different emotions that we're dealing with. And so the way quantum flowers is set up, you open up the quantum flowers, and whoever's profile is at the top of that screen, the minute you go down and you have two box options. You have emotions and you have flowers. Click on the emotion box and it will drop down 7 different emotions. And each one of those emotions has different flowers that are believed to have the frequencies that will affect, in a positive way, those emotions. And so you would open that up and find one of those 7 emotions, and whichever one you're feeling like, or the individual you're working with feels is an issue. The second you click on that emotion, it will automatically review the flowers in that category against the signature, the electronic signature that's in the profile. It's not scanning anything, it's just comparing those frequencies, and then it will list the flower that it found to be the appropriate one for that particular emotion with that person. All right, so once you've done that, and when you open that flower, it will come up with a little description of the emotional description of what that flower is believed to be helpful with. And if that's the appropriate one, simple. Take your little tincture, and the flowers, again, can be broadcast, but they're believed to be more effective if they're imprinted into a brandy water solution. And that solution, by the way, is 25% brandy and 75% water. You put it on and hit imprint. It takes 1 minute and 5 seconds to imprint a flower frequency in. Then you have homeopathics, and you have homeoenergetics. The difference between those two, homeopathics are a remedy that started with a seed of either a disease or a medicine. And then they dilute it down so many times that there's virtually nothing left of that seed. But that's a homeopathic. A homeoenergetic, on the other hand, is 100% frequency. So you go down the list, you find the appropriate remedy you want to make. And again, those can be broadcast, but they're really more effective in either a tincture or a sugar pill. So I hope that this introduction to SEFI was helpful for you. I look forward to our next meeting. Thanks.
Hello, this is Dr. Earl with Solex, and we're going to do a deep dive into the AO Scan Mobile. Are you ready to get your geek on? Let's go. Today we're going to be talking about carbon loading. Now, carbon loading is what I call the science that happens with the SEFI, and even inside of our own bodies. It's very powerful. So we're going to talk about how the SEFI works, how our bodies receive and store energy, how EMFs influence us, and the difference between homeopathics and homeoenergetics. All right, to get started, we need to talk about carbon, and we need to get all the way down to the atom. It's basic chemistry, basic physics. So we're going to talk about atomic energy levels. We're going to talk about the sharing and stealing of electrons, and we're going to talk about conduction and semiconduction. Okay? Hopefully, we'll make it all make sense. The first thing we need to understand is that this science really begins down at the atom level. So in the center, you have the nucleus, and then surrounding, you have electrons in an electron cloud. But did you also know these clouds have energy levels? And the further they are away from the nucleus, the higher the energy level. And very often, the more electrons can be stacked within that energy level. We call those energy levels valence shells. And you can have, again, typically an atom will have all of its energy in the lowest energy state possible. But we can bump that atom with energy and raise its energy into another shell. Pretty fascinating stuff. Well, this is really the basics of how this all works. So to look at it another way, again, you can look at the images and you can see that as you get further from the center, the nucleus, then you have increasing energy levels. And then if you look at the graphic a little bit further, the one on the bottom, you'll see that each individual atom has a different number of protons and neutrons inside of the nucleus, and then electrons that circle around in these valence shells. Now, something very important to understand is that the energy level that these valence shells are filled with change the way that the atom behaves. So think about that when we start talking about the AOScan mobile and the fact that we're reading, interpreting, and then using resonance to influence our energy levels. It gets pretty exciting. So if we specifically look at carbon and we look at what it has available, it has a nucleus, it has 6 electrons circling it. But this is the next very important thing to understand, and that is that it has 4 electrons in its outer shell. That means that it has missing pieces. It would love to have 8 electrons in that outer shell. And so it is always looking to complete that 8 sequence. Does that make sense? So what happens, something called covalent bonding, is these atoms will get together and they will share electrons in that outer shell. This is how molecules are formed and how different atoms to get together to form the life as we know it. And by sharing these electrons, the atom becomes content. It becomes stable. Again, something very important to think about. So obviously, as we get more and more atoms that get together and form more complex molecules, then the connections become much more complex. But at a basic level, all we need to understand is that atoms have the ability to store energy. Remember, we talked about they have an energy, a frequency, and a resonance. And this is the energy level that we see that storage level at. Well, sometimes within our bodies, a particular atom will actually steal electrons from a different atom. This is called electron stealing. And part of our energy release within our bodies actually depends upon this. But also, part of heavy metal toxicity does this as well. It'll actually steal electrons from other neighboring atoms in order to make itself content. Well, this then makes the other atoms unhappy or reactive, and they become free radicals. So we've kind of talked a little bit about atoms, how they store energy, how we're able to bump that energy a little bit if we put specific energy into those atoms, and then we're able to release that energy at specific times. And understanding that is very critical to understand how energy is used and flows through our bodies. Well, one of the other things to understand is the difference between conduction and semiconduction. Conduction is best understood if we think about electricity. Electricity is the flow of electrons from one place to another. And then we use that energy to power our lights, our computers, what have you. But it's the flow of the electrons through the conducting elements that make that possible. So again, think about this highway of electrons that can be transported down the wire, down this conducting material. Well, we also know that there are certain materials that are called semiconductors. Semiconductors actually, as opposed to conductors, they can conduct energy only in one way or another. Now this becomes very important because you're able to control the flow of energy a little more precisely. So instead of energy just flowing depending upon where the high to low is with a conductor, with a semiconductor you can actually choose how the energy flows based on its setup, based on its energy exposure, etc. Now, why is this important? Well, we all know that there are some things in our lives called electronics. And have you heard of a semiconductor? Well, really all that is a material that is put together to allow energy to flow in one way or another. For all you geek nerd idiots out there, that's me, this is the zeros and ones that we use with binary code in order to do programming, make computers work. But it's understanding that those materials will allow energy to flow one way or another, and we can control that. We can also use that same sequence to load energy onto those silicone chips, memory chips, or what have you. That's pretty exciting. But what does that have to do with us? Well, as noted, energy will flow one way or another through silicone. But what we also know is that certain atoms within the periodic table, so the periodic table is this big table that scientists use in order to track what happens with different atoms, different elements. And it allows us to understand what's going to happen when these atoms get together. Well, what we know and what we've done is we've grouped these atoms into families. Why? Because they share common characteristics. So if we look at the periodic table, we'll find that silicone has its place on the periodic table, and just above that is carbon. It's in the same family. So atomic families share common characteristics, like semiconduction, and like being able to load energy on in a stable way. And that's a very important concept to understand as well, because we can load energy onto all kinds of different atoms, but they become unstable. But interestingly enough, silicone and carbon, we can load energy onto them, and they are stable, they're content. They will hold that energy, sometimes indefinitely. That's really cool. So, super important to understand that families act in a very similar way. So yes, just like Luke talks about in Star Wars, the Force is strong in my family. My father has it, and my sister has it. And Leah's blown away. Well, in like manner, we need to understand that we use silicone chips to load energy and to make computers work. But guess what our bodies are made of? Carbon. And just like we use silicone chips to compute and process energy, our body can use carbon to load energy and to process that energy. It gets really exciting. All right, everybody take a big deep breath. That's a lot of science, but we're almost there. So now we're going to start to connect why this is important. So we can take silicone, just like silicone, we can take carbon and we can load energy onto carbon sheets. Okay, carbon sheets. What does that really mean to me? Well, inside your body, carbon sheets are fascia, ligaments, tendon. Your blood vessels are surrounded with these carbon sheets, and the list goes on and on. Our bodies are made up of collagen and carbon-based molecules. So we're able to exchange that energy, we're able to transport that energy, and we're able to understand that energy. You see, this energy then connects through different networks in our body to muscles, nerves, organs, and the list goes on. Also like silicone, we can load carbon sheets and we can choose the way that the energy flows. And so you've heard people talk about, oh, I'm having a bad day, negative energy, different things happen. Well, now it makes sense. This goes all the way down to the anatomic level, because carbon will allow energy to flow in one way or the other. And if it gets blocked because of negative energy or negative emotion, that changes everything. Also, if we have scar tissue that crosses over and makes short circuits, now it changes the way that that energy flows. And so again, you can see how important understanding carbon loading and carbon energy flow changes how we think about the AO Scan Mobile. So, again, what does this have to do with the SEFI? Well, now you understand why we use silicone and carbon-based entities in order to load the energy and then deliver it to you. So we use silicone-based bracelets and collars. We also use carbon-based tablets. What are carbon-based tablets? Sugar, vitamin C, etc., in order to load the energy. You also understand now the importance of why you want to clear whatever substrate you're using before you then load on the energy you want it to deliver. The other thing to understand is now you take that energy-loaded carbon into your body, and when your body breaks it apart, not only does it release the energy inside of the connection, but it also releases the energy that you loaded on your SEFI. That's pretty exciting. So again, now we're going to talk a little bit about EMF, electromagnetic fields. And we can see that those energy fields pass in and out and influence our body at a carbon level. And we already know that we can put electronics in certain energy fields and it totally messes them up. This is why. And the same holds true for you and I. This is again why it's so important to use your AO Scan Mobile on a frequent, yes, daily basis in order to bring yourself back into balance, because you're constantly getting bombarded with different energy signals that you don't want to carry around and can start confusing your body. All right, last big concept, and then we'll bring it all home. So we're going to talk now about the difference between homeopathics and homeoenergetics. Homeopathics, they start with a tincture, a natural tincture, and you can see the image there. And they put it into the first vial and they dilute it down and they shake it. And the idea is with the shaking, they're trying to offload the energy from the homeopathic into the substrate, into the liquid that's surrounding it. And then they repeat that again and shake it, repeat it again, shake it, and they repeat it again and shake it. So this is where, when Loran talks about homeopathics starting with a seed, they start with a homeopathic, with a natural substance, and over dilution and shaking, they're hoping to get the energy out of the chemical, if you will, and into the liquid. And then you take that internally, that energy sequence internally. And various scientific research has shown that that is a very effective way to deliver energy and the essence, if you will, of what's in that natural substance into your body. Well, homeoenergetics are very different, because what we do is we actually go out and we measure the energy that is inside of this nutrient that we want. Remember, everything has a signature: energy, frequency, and vibration. And we measure that. And when I say we, these are the scientists, again, that we talked about out of Russia, out of the United States, and Japan, and Germany, and Italy, and France, and you get the picture. And we're measuring these exact identical energies. And now, using the SEFI, we're able to put those energies very specifically into the carbon backbone of sugar, vitamin C, or other carrier molecules. Pretty exciting, huh? Okay, so we've talked about a lot. You now know what it means to carbon load. Now that's a phrase that's not very common out there, but you understand that process. You understand what our bodies do with energy. You understand how important it is that you clear before you load your pills, your silicone bracelets, things for your pets, etc. It becomes very important. And remember, one final thing, 98% of life is actually energy clouds. And so we're able to tap into that 98% of life that frankly has been ignored. Now you know why I'm excited about Solix and the AO scan. Now you know why I say Solix, true science logically applied. Thank you.
Hey everyone, thanks so much for joining us. We really enjoy having an opportunity to share with you. I thought that Loran and Dr. Earl did such a great job tonight, and we really appreciate your being here with us and joining us.
Have a great week.
Have a
See
great
ya.
We gotta give away a coin.
We got to give away coins.
Yeah, we always got to give some money away, of course.
Okay, I've got this one. I've got this one.
Okay.
This week, let's give away a coin on social media. Facebook and or Instagram, use the hashtag SEFI, and then tell us what has been a great experience for you while using SEFI. Post those on Instagram or in the Facebook page, the Solix AO Scan Official Group Facebook page. Join it if you haven't yet. Put the hashtag SEFI, write your comment, something great that's happened to you. We're going to go through this. We're going to give you a little bit longer time frame. Let's go all the way through Sunday, and then we'll do the drawing on Monday morning. How about that?
Sounds good.
Sounds great. And don't you forget all the benefits that are associated with these coins. We have put all kinds of things to them so that you can have a lot of fun. So it's not just a piece of money. It's also something that really is going to bring value to your
Okay,
life.
on that front, let's give away one per site.
That's right.
Instagram
And Facebook.
and Facebook. So one each. Okay, one each. Go ahead and do it. We'll see you on social media.
Sounds fair.
Thanks, guys.
Good
Bye.
night.